Alrighty, so now that we have the good breath that we need to be taking and the proper posture that we need to be sitting at when we play our French horn, now when we actually have our instruments in hand, we can figure out how to place our hand within the bell. Most people think that they're doing it right and that their tone is super well and it's super good and they're perfectly in tune, when in reality they're putting their hands too far into the bell, which is making them sharp and which is dragging their tone down. That was my situation. I thought that I was doing it right and that my instrument was just naturally sharp, and I figured out a proper way from my private instructor this past year that I was putting my hand in incorrectly, and that was why I was sharp all the time. I was about 15 cents sharp every day, so I'd have to pull out my main tuning side thinking that that was normal. It is not normal in the slightest. How to place our hands in the French horns while we play. So one good technique that I have been taught, let me pull up my sleeve so you can see, is that when you do it, your hand should be at a slightly cupped angle, so you can hold a little bit of water, I would say, in that little cup, and you would put it right on the brim of the bell, right on the inside, right here on the brim of the bell. You don't want to have it too far in or your sound will be muffled and you will sound super duper sharp. If you do that, of course you will be out of tune, your tone will not be all right, and your sound will be pinched off, and all the breath that you're putting into this horn will be null and void. So what you want to do, instead of putting it all the way in and so your hand is pretty much covering the entire opening of the bell, instead pull it out almost all the way. It's going to feel super uncomfortable and as if you're not doing anything for your horn, but I promise you that'll get you the perfect tone and it'll be perfectly in tune for your instrument, and you can make proper, you can get good tone, good everything. So once you're actually in playing position and you have your horn here on your leg, on your thigh, your arm should be right in there. Let me pull up my sleeve again. Your arm should be right in there, right, barely grazing the inside of your bell. It should not be in too far where you can't see your hand anymore. It should not be out too far where you can see your entire hand. Your fingers should be inside of that bell so it looks and it gets you a proper tone and gets you in tune properly, so you don't have to keep pulling out your slides trying to get yourself in tune. Instead, all you gotta do is move your hand around in the bell, fidget with it a little bit, and you'll get yourself in tune. That's how I tune now. That's how my private instructor tunes. That's how most professional horn players tune, is just with their hands instead of with their slides. It just makes it a little bit easier as time goes on and as you're more advanced players. Instead of having to completely stop playing and pull out one of the tuning slides, you can just simply move your hand and you are 100 times better player and 100 times more professional and more efficient.